Civilization or Barbarism, an Authentic Anthropology by Dr. Cheikh Anta. The AMP is not just a combination of village communities and despotic regime. The important trait, according to Marx, is generalized slavery, which allows it to be considered as progress after the dissolution of the primitive community. It is the dynamic element of the system. The economic use of this factor is the most important, but the political, military, defense, or religious use is possible. It necessitates a society in which man's exploitation by man is done through the intermediary of collectivities, i.e., village communities, a despotic centralized power. Thus, generalized slavery by itself would explain the whole AMP system. Manpower is quasi free. One does not have to buy or to support the worker. The abundance of manpower will engender waste, a, of which the most typical case will be that the Egyptian pyramids. Unskilled manpower will only be fit for heavy work. There will be on the side a small number of artists dependent on the despot. Generalized slavery would have had as a direct consequence the mastering of water, an improvement in the general conditions of agricultural production, and as an indirect consequence, the flourishing of culture and art. But it would not have favored the progress of the techniques of agricultural production, whence a kind of impasse in the ensemble movement ahead of the productive forces. Perrin cites Das Kapital, where Marx writes, it is always the direct relationship of the owners of the conditions of production to the direct producers, a relation always naturally corresponding to a definite stage in the development of the methods of work and thereby its social productivity, which reveals the innermost secret, the hidden basis of the entire social edifice, and consequently the political form of the relation, and sovereignty and dependence, in short, the corresponding specific form of the state in a given period. We think that the process put forth by Marx should, for once, be reversed. It is the material cause that it is at the basis of the birth of the state, and that determines the process of its appearance, the type of state, and its specific political form. Therefore, the form of the relations of production is determined by the type of state thus created. Consequently, the relations of production of the slave type are excluded by the AMP. Man's exploitation by man cannot be conceived of outside of the framework of a state, no matter how embryonic it is. In spite of Engel's expositions in Anti-Daring, this phenomenon did not exist before the state did. This form changes when one goes from the slave states to the non-slave states called the AMP. We'll pause right there, continue back with civilization or barbarism. I'm Uriel. Hi, sir.